Mario and Sonic, two gaming icons joined together to compete in the Olympic Games. Well, this time, the Olympic Winter Games. With this game, you get to experience the Olympic Winter Games all for yourself. To a certain extent, it also makes great use of the Wii's motion controls. And today, I'm counting down my top 10 favorite Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games events. Don't you just hate mouthfuls? For this list, I'll only be counting events from the Wii version, and not the god-awful DS one. Also, just my opinion, I'm speaking only for myself and no one else, as always. Alright, this intro's done, so let's get up. Never mind. Kicking off this list is figure skating. In this event, players must perform a long, elegant skating dance, scoring points by swinging, spinning, and balancing the Wii Remote, along with striking a special pose at the end, all with good timing. With musical accompaniment, which I'd play for you if not for copyright matters. The better the player's execution and timing of all these actions, the more points he or she will score, and of course, the highest scoring player wins the event. I've always liked games that require good timing, as I've said a lot of times before, and this one is also a little hard, providing a good challenge. That is why figure skating skates into 10th place. Y'all got a time-killing epilogue? Ninth place is ice hockey. In this event, two teams of 4 are playing ice hockey. You know, hitting a puck into the other team's goal with an L-shaped stick. Players can also pass the puck to their teammates, as well as steal it from opponents, along with goalies blocking shots. As ice hockey goes, each successful goal scores a team 1 point, and the team with the most points at the end of the last period wins the event. Also, each time the puck is hit, its power level will rise, and once it's fully charged, the player in possession of it can execute a special shot, which is more likely to score goals than regular shots. This event is very fun and nice and simple. Well, nice and simple relatively speaking, and ice hockey is one of my favorite Olympic events. In real life, of course. All that is enough to earn it 9th place. Eighth place is Dream Figure Skating. Just like Olympic figure skating, players must perform a skating dance by swinging, spinning, and balancing the Wii Remote, all with good timing. However, this time around, the game has changed. Instead of individuals, teams of 4 compete, and they must work together to clear a long course based on either Mario's world or Sonic's world, as well as score points in the process, and the highest scoring team at the end of the event wins it. This version of figure skating beats the Olympic version for one major reason. It is much more fun since it lasts longer and requires more spinning, swinging, and balancing, along with more intricate Wii Remote movements, providing an even better challenge. Also, the scenery is much nicer. Finally, side note, my favorite course is the Mario-themed one. All of this grants Dream Figure Skating 8th place. Coming in at 7th place is curling. In this event, 2 teams of 4 take turns sliding several stones across an icy track in an attempt to make them stop as close as possible to the target center. Each team can throw 4 stones per end, and at the end of the end, will score 1 point for each closer to the target center than the opponent's closest one. Yes, that also means if your opponent has any closer than your closest, you get no points for that end. Brain hurt yet? The highest scoring team after 2 ends wins the event. After one player slides a stone, with the curve and power he or she desires, 2 other players can slide across the ice with it and sweep its path with brooms to make it travel further. And yes, teams can also mess with opponents by knocking their stones around. I find this event very fun and strategic, which is one thing I love seeing in video games. Also, curling is another one of my favorite Olympic events. With all that, curling is easily 7th place. 6th place is Dream Snowboard Cross. In this event, 4 players compete in a snowboarding race across Radical Highway. They must board along, collecting rings, performing spin tricks while airborne, riding rails, avoiding enemies and other hazards, and that's all. The first player to cross the finish line at the end of the highway wins the event. Again, players can collect rings, not quite sure why, however, along with do tricks for speed boosts, and collect item boxes to mess with opponents and give themselves an edge. Sorry, that's all there is to gameplay. This event is very fun, and maybe a little bit challenging. Also, I've always loved racing games, obviously. That's enough for Dream Snowboard Cross to earn 6th place. Punch me if you want to. Fifth place is Dream Ski Jumping. In this event, 4 players are ski jumping, hence the name, across outer space. They must move around with the Wii Remote, collect star bits for points, star rings, which, after collecting 3, make players invincible, and item boxes to mess with opponents. They must also avoid hitting or getting hit by obstacles. In addition to the star bits, players can also score points by landing and stopping on the huge star platform at the end of the course. The player with the highest score at the end wins the event. This event is fun and thrilling, and provides somewhat of a challenge, especially with the star platform at the end, since landing on the 100-point space, let alone at all, is harder than it looks. That's good enough for me, so Dream Ski Jumping jumps right in 5th place. Fourth place is Dream Ice Hockey. Just like Olympic ice hockey, players must hit a puck in the other team's goal. However, again, the game has changed this time. The players can grab item boxes, which can help them in scoring goals and messing with opponents, as well as question mark orbs, which temporarily activate special conditions for the team that got it, which can also help them score goals and possibly mess with opponents. There are also thwomps that'll keep hitting the ground, providing an obstacle for the players. Also, the special shots have been powered up, making them even harder for the goalie to block. But even with all this, the objective remains the same, scoring goals. The highest scoring team after the final period wins the event. Again, I've always loved ice hockey as an Olympic event, and this is a much more fun, intense, and challenging version of it. That's why Dream Ice Hockey doesn't even need to dream of 4th place. Third place goes to Dream Gliding. In this event, 2 teams of 4 battle one another while hang gliding. To battle, players must take aim, either at opponents or enemies flying in the crossfire, and will get points for each successful shot. And of course, they must also try to avoid being shot. They also have access to items, which, again, allow them to mess with opponents and score points more easily. The team with the higher score when time expires wins the event. Sorry, nothing more I could say about gameplay. This event is very fun and one of a kind, and I really admire the epic concept. It's also quite challenging, although it gets easier once you master the controls and techniques. For those very reasons, Dream Gliding glides right in 3rd place. Running up is Dream Curling. Man, so many dream events. Anyway, despite its name, this event is actually quite different from Olympic curling. Teams must slide several stones across an icy track, attempting to, not land in the center of a target, but instead knock down as many bowling pins as possible. The scoring works just like bowling. I'd explain it if I knew how the hell it worked, and the highest scoring team after the final frame wins the event. Players also have access to items, which activate certain effects that make it easier to knock pins down, along with bumpers, which can be used to make stones bounce around, even back towards missed pins. Again, curling is one of my favorite Olympic events, and this one is a much funner version of it. I also like how it deviates from traditional curling, and basically merges with bowling. That's right, 2 different sports together in one. Isn't that just awesome? It's so awesome, in fact, that Dream Curling is easily my second favorite event. Honorable mention Winter Olympics. 15th place is Dream Ski Cross. 4 players compete in a ski race across Mario Circuit, which is now covered with snow, and the first player to complete 2 laps, no, not 3, wins. This one is fun and noticeably challenging, and it reminds me of Mario Kart. Duh. 14th place is Dream Alpine. This one is pretty much the exact same thing as Dream Ski Cross, except it takes place on a Sonic-themed stage and has a finish line instead of laps, so I like it for all the same reasons. But I like this one more because I prefer a long track instead of a short one with laps. It's also just a bit more challenging. 13th place is Bobsleigh. Individual players, or teams of 4, depending on the chosen mode, take turns riding a bobsled across a long, icy track, and must reach the finish line as fast as possible. The player/team with the shortest clear time wins. This one is nice and simple, and that's all. 12th place is Dream Bobsleigh. Just like Olympic Bobsleigh, players/teams of 4 race bobsleds, except this time around, it's on a Sonic-themed track, and there are now collectible orbs, items, and obstacles, and the first player/team to clear the course wins. This one is much more fun than Olympic Bobsleigh, and is also quite harder. Last but not least, 11th place is Dream Short Track. 4 teams of 4 compete in an enhanced version of short track speed skating. Specifically, each team member takes turns skating across the loop, and the first anchor to reach the finish line wins the event for his/her team. This one is, again, fun, and also somewhat challenging. It also has epic scenery. Finally, number 1. It's yet another Dream event. And is not based on an Olympic one. It's none other than Dream Snowball Fight. In this event, the name says it all. 2 teams of 4 compete in a snowball fight. They each have their own side of a field, and must throw snowballs at opponents, along with the void ones thrown at them. They can keep throwing until they run out, at which point they must reload. Also, each player has 3 hearts, and will therefore go down if hit by 3 snowballs. But don't worry, it's not the end of the world if this happens. They just have to revive themselves by swinging the Wii Remote. Each successful shot grants points, and the highest scoring team when time expires wins the event. Players can also grab item boxes, which once again help them score points by messing with opponents in many different ways. There are also brick blocks, which players can use for cover while they reload. This event is extremely fun and thrilling, and also a bit cute, since I'm pretty sure snowball fighting is not an Olympic event, Dream or not. For all those reasons, Dream Snowball Fight is easily my number 1 favorite Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games event of all time. Mario and Sonic, mouthfuls galore. So there you have it, my top 10 mouthfuls galore of all time. For more videos like this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, please check out my social media. All links are in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time. Mikoro Glyscore 472, out. Dream Snowball Fight is easily... Whoa, are you okay? Yeah. Jesus.